You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's.
What does Chappelle, Ed Sheeran, and Casey Neistat all have in common? They're great at telling stories, and many creative artists look up to them. Casey is my single greatest video making influence. He dropped a masterpiece yesterday about an impossible dream, and I'm breaking down its story in hopes of learning how to tell better stories in my own videos.
Just finished my first marathon.
I failed.
In its most simple form, here are the bare bones of his story. His setup is that he broke his leg, but it didn't stop him from setting an impossible goal of running a marathon in under 3 hours. The conflict is that he attempts and fails time and time again. The resolution comes when he perseveres and achieves his impossible dream. Now here's what he added. First his hook in the beginning, saying that he's waited 17 years to tell this story, and then he follows that up with 2 other impossible dreams that he's already achieved, just to show us what kind of person he is. In the setup, he gave context for non-runners to better understand how ambitious his dream actually was. He supports his narrative with a parallel and relative story about a Greek god. Then he adds lots of details, questioning if he should give up. His grandma gives him a boost of inspiration. He trains hard, runs as fast as ever, but still falls short. Then he accepts his failure and decides to live with it. And we think this is the resolution, but then he surprises us by deciding not to give up. And so when he achieves his goal, the important piece is that he adds a meaningful punchline. His message is to push and not to give up, and to be prideful in who we are and what we do, regardless of how stupid others may think that our obsessions are. Creating a story and telling it are 2 separate art forms. Everyone is unique and will have their own process of creating and expressing themselves. There is no wrong way when it comes to art.
You have to have your own thing. My favorite thing in the world is seeing how YouTubers are able to iterate and build on other YouTubers' styles and sentiments and ideas until they make something that's uniquely theirs.
Men test boundaries, and no man tests more boundaries than a trans man.